Once your drawing is done, we're going to go through the process of giving it sort of an antique look and distressing it and adding layers to the drawing. So it helps to make sure that several of your drawings are darker. You definitely want to have that variation in tone. So in this one, I made sure I darkened this bottom left one that I'm pointing to with my hand holding the camera, and I also darkened a couple of the other larger ones in that lower section and the upper right. Now we're going to be mixing up a neutral tone, and we're going to use watercolors. So add a little bit of water to the pans of the colors you want to use to mix your color, just to wet the paint. Now I'm going to make a neutral brown using a blue and an orange. So I'm going to mix the paint in the lid to the paint tray. So once my paint has been liquefied, I'm using my brush to move a little bit of orange and a little bit of blue into the lid where I'll stir them together and make my brown. Now, using a larger brush, I'm going to evenly spread my neutral brown color across my entire paper, being sure that I'm mixing plenty of water in with it. I want it thin. I don't want this to be super dark. I want to make sure my drawings still really show up. And here's what the finished paper looks like. I'm going to let it dry. While it dries, I can clean out my mixing area. So in that lid of the paint tray, take your brush and add some more water to it. You can kind of brush back and forth and re-wet the paint in the lid. And then grab one of those terry cloth towels and just wipe it clean. Alright, now that my paint is dry, my neutral tone, I'm going to get some white tempera paint. And I'm going to paint over my drawings again, this time letting the white paint fade them back. I want the drawings to show through, and I want some of the neutral color to show through, just sort of giving it that distressed look. If you notice in the example here, the paint is going on a little thick, so you need to work pretty quickly. I'm going to pick up some clean water and spread that out. Make sure as you work you can still see your drawings. You don't want to hide your drawings behind the white. So I'm spreading out the paint to make sure I can still see each of my drawings. Now let the white paint dry. As it dries, think about again, which drawings do you want to really have stand out now? You can see how everything's been faded back by the white paint. So I'm going to again, in this final step, I'm taking that one drawing from the lower left, and I went over it all with a thin fine point rollerball pen. I also did the one in the top right, just to make it stand out a little more. And you notice the other drawings are still there and they're visible, but they're much lighter. So this is my final product.